All right, sixth graders, we are doing an extension. Extension 4.2, slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines. So your first key idea is right here. Parallel lines and slopes. So lines that are in the same plane that do not intersect are called parallel lines. Non-vertical parallel lines have the same slope. All vertical lines are also parallel. So as you can see here, y equals 1/2 x plus 3, y equals 1/2 x minus 1. They are parallel because they have the same slope. So here's our example 1. Which two lines are parallel, and how do you know? So looking at this, they all look close to being parallel. But how do you know which ones are parallel? And this is where you must prove it to me mathematically. So we have to find the slope of each one, since we have to determine if they're parallel. So let's start with blue. So if I want to find the slope of the blue line, I'm going to subtract my y values. So let's start with this one. 2 minus -2 over -3 minus -4. That would give me 2 plus 2 over -3 plus 4. So that would give me a slope of 4. Now the red line, if I subtract my y's, 3 minus -2 over 1 minus 0. Now once again, you could start with the one down here and subtract the top, but it will eventually give you the same answer. This gives me 5 over 1, so the slope of the red line is 5. 5 divided by 1. Green. So the green line is going to be 1 minus -3 over 4 minus 3. That would give me 4 divided by 1, which gives me a slope of 4. So as you can see here, these two have the same slope. Therefore, the blue and green lines have the same slope, so they are parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. The last key idea is about perpendicular lines and slope. Now in this case, we have two lines that are perpendicular, which means they form 4 90-degree angles. Lines in the same plane that intersect at right angles are perpendicular lines. Two non-vertical lines are perpendicular when the product of their slopes is -1. That's important. Now, they are also opposite reciprocals of each other. What that means is this, like 5, the opposite reciprocal. The opposite of 5 would be -5, and the reciprocal would be 1/5. So the opposite reciprocal is -1/5. If I gave you 2/3, the opposite reciprocal is -3/2. Now you'll notice each of these, if you multiplied them, would give you a product of -1. Now the only time that does not work is when you have vertical and horizontal lines, because you have an undefined slope and a 0 slope, but they are also perpendicular. So in example 2, which two lines are perpendicular and how do you know? Well, once again, you must find the slope of all of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the slopes down. Here they are. If we subtract my y values in the blue line, 4 minus 6 is -2. 1 minus -5 is 6. You will get -1/3. The slope of the red line is -2/7, down 2, right 7. And the green line is up 7, right 2. So, which ones have a product of -1, or are opposite reciprocals? It would be red and green. So we know that the slopes of the blue and green lines, I'm sorry, not blue and green, it would be the slope of the red line and the slope of the green line. They would make opposite reciprocals of each other. Whoops. And they are perpendicular because they do have a product of -1.